What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Acknowledge me. I'm sorry, I had to do it one time. Welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Before I get started on everything that is Wrestling with Rumors for this week, like I say every week, every rumor that I am about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We speculate as wildly as we want, but until we actually see it happening on TV, we get some kind of confirmation that what was a rumor is actually fact. It remains what it is, a rumor. So with that, let's get into everything that is a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. The Wrestling Observer notes that Randy Orton is now being advised for an upcoming episode of SmackDown December 5th in Austin, Texas. That would seem to indicate he is returning soon. Awesome. And that that means prepping December 5th, prepping for an exhibition match December 13th at Saturday night's main event against someone from NXT, and also getting back into the swing of things right before the Royal Rumble in January in Saudi Arabia. Awesome. The takedown on SI says AMC has emerged as a legitimate candidate to land TNA in a new TV deal. So, this is good news for TNA. AMC is a solid network. I mean, AMC is on a network that you would have to is a network where you would have to pay for. You know, it's not one of those free cable channels. It's one of those channels where if you have cable or satellite or however you watch TV, it's one of those channels you got to pay for. So, I mean, as long as you have TNA Plus, you have nothing to worry about, But, I mean, if you watch TNA and TNA is going to go to AMC, might want to check to see how much AMC is, so you can watch it if you want to. Brian Alvarez of F4W Online notes that the belief is John Cena will be headlining the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. It's not too soon to think about that. He's got 2 matches left, Survivor Series and Saturday night's main event, and that's it. It wouldn't be a shocker if that's something they do. I mean, they've done that for just about every WWE superstar who has retired, essentially. I mean, Rey Mysterio got the Hall of Fame and he's still active. Triple H got Hall of Fame when he was as part of DX, and I don't think he was retired at that. He might have actually been retired at that time when he got it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think he was retired at that time when he got it. So Undertaker got it after he was retired, but it was a minute. I feel that John Cena shouldn't get the Hall of Fame until like 27 or 28. It shouldn't just be, oh, he's retired, he goes into the Hall of Fame. Kind of like with Edge. Edge was at that time when Edge couldn't come back because of his neck. He had to instantly retire, and then the next year he was in the Hall of Fame like that. I don't think they should rush that. I don't think they should rush him into the Hall of Fame. There's no rush. I feel that once he is done December 13th, that is it. I feel that we should just rest on what was this year of it and not rush him right into the Hall of Fame. At least I don't think WWE should do that. I think WWE should wait until 2027 or 2028. Give it a good 1 or 2 years of a gap from the time he's done before you bring him back into the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, they did that with Batista. Batista, it took a couple of years before Batista got into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think they should do that. The Rock is not even in the Hall of Fame yet. So, I think you should put The Rock in the WWE. I think you should put The Rock in the Hall of Fame before you put John Cena in the Hall of Fame. At least I think so. But we will see what they decide to do. One more from Alvarez. He said the expectation within WWE is that SmackDown will be 3 hours for 6 months or so in 2026 before reverting back to 2 again for the rest of the year. And I'm starting to really feel like this is going to be the pattern for WWE with SmackDown, because this will be the second time they will do this year. The beginning of January, I think, will be the first, within that first full week of January of 2026. SmackDown is supposed to go back to being a 3-hour show, and it'll stay that way. And then eventually, like sometime between summer going into fall of 2026, SmackDown will go back to being a 3-hour show. I feel that I can understand if USA Network is doing that to fill in that 10 o'clock time space until they get into the summer, until they get to mid-summer and to fall, where they have shows for the fall and winter to fill that 10 o'clock space. I feel that that's what they might be doing, a little bit of back and forth kind of thing. And that might just be USA wanting to do that to fill in that 10 o'clock time slot, so they don't have to put it in with like a repeated show or something like that. That's what they might be doing, you know. But okay, here we go. Possibly, but here we go. Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez said there have been a lot of discussions around who will appear at John Cena's final match in Washington, D.C., including talk of Vince McMahon and President Donald Trump. Now, this is touching a little something on what I talked about in politics and pro wrestling, the Donald Trump aspect of it. Excuse me, Einstein. It's okay, buddy. I'm almost done. This dog really wants to go for a walk, so he is very impatient of me trying to get through Wrestling with Rumors. Buddy, I am almost done, okay? Okay? All right. Let me get back to it. My apologies. Anyway, so the last week, towards the end of last week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors, I did touch on professional wrestling and the mixture of professional wrestling and politics, and how sometimes it's just unescapable sometimes where it touches. This is a touch on that with Donald Trump possibly being at John Cena's at Saturday night's main event, because it is in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, and that's where the president lives most of the time. So yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. If it does, it'll be like what I said last week, where actually I've also said this a couple weeks ago, where if he does show up and do something like he did at that Redskins game not too long ago, where he reads something, he's just going to get booed. You know, understandably he'll get booed. Especially, you know, if he even just shows up and they put a camera on him and he waves at everyone, he's going to get booed louder than Dominic Mysterio gets booed. But with good reason. So Vince McMahon, I could see Vince McMahon being there, probably like backstage. Not in the crowd, but probably like backstage if he shows up. But I mean, for the most part, I really hope this stays a rumor, because I don't think anyone really wants to see either Vince or Trump. I feel like it takes the spotlight out what that night is supposed to be, which is not just a night to celebrate John Cena and say goodbye to John Cena, say thank you to John Cena, and witness John Cena have his last match, but it's also a chance to celebrate the future and watch NXT superstars take on the main roster talent of today. That's what it is about. That's what it should be about. And if either Vince and or Trump show up, I feel that takes away from that. So I really hope this stays a rumor and they're not there. No different than Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler is not signed with WWE, and his match in the Last Time Is Now tournament was a one-time deal per Fightful Select. Now, I need to make a note in this about Zack Ryder, and I feel that I need to apologize because I think I jumped the gun a little bit about Zack Ryder. I got really excited when I saw Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, on SmackDown having a match in the Last Time Is Now tournament, and I was like, oh, he signed. Like, I instantly went to that, my old school self in WWE and stuff went to, oh, he's back, he signed, he went back, he's Zack Ryder again, he signed, he kept some of these things from the independents, he's now back, and I'm like thinking ahead to like, ooh, possibly Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, all this stuff, Intercontinental Championship, getting that back. I instantly went there. Old school mind went right to that, and how I was looking at it with Zack Ryder being there in WWE and all that stuff. So my apologies in that. And from what I read, he didn't sign with WWE. He has a merchandise deal with WWE, and from what I could tell, Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, also has that same kind of deal, because I saw his stuff show up again on WWE Shop. So it seems like that's what it just is, just a one time. But just to have them there for that match was really incredible. Was really incredible thing to see. So yeah. According to Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez, there is a strong feeling in AEW that Adam Cole may not ever wrestle again. That is I feel that is the kind of feeling everyone got at All In when he was attempting to make that speech, and it was very hard for him to make that speech, and when he said he doesn't want to say he's retiring, but I think a part of him knew that he might have to retire based on this injury that he had. I really hope it's not the case, but if it is, it's with good reason. And I feel that even though if Adam Cole may not be able to wrestle again, I still feel that he can be utilized in AEW as a producer, as a trainer. He can still be used in some good way in AEW. He can still be utilized in AEW in the backstage area. So, all the best to Adam Cole. I really hope it's not a rumor and that he's able to come back and do what he does best. But if he's done, then I want to go ahead and just say thank you, Adam Cole, for what you did in professional wrestling, especially for what you did in NXT as the Undisputed Era. That time you had in WWE, even if it was just in NXT, it still counts as being part of WWE, and that was some good times. And then the moments you had in AEW as well. So thank you, Adam Cole. Thank you for all of it. While discussing his surprise Raw return on Off the Ropes, Dolph Ziggler said WWE originally considered announcing it ahead of time, and that included showing a bracket of John Cena's Last Time Is Now tournament. Ziggler thought that was such a bad idea and was relieved when his return was not spoiled. Absolutely. I am so glad that the surprises in Dolph Ziggler and in Zack Ryder, they were not spoiled, that it was a complete surprise. I love when we can get those surprise moments in WWE and just in professional wrestling. You know, in a world we live in today with social media, it is so very hard to surprise the fans. But when you can do it, when you can get away with it, man, it feels good. So absolutely, I'm glad they were able to not spoil that surprise. Fightful Select says Anna Jay's AEW contract is believed to expire in the next few months. I think she'll resign. Anna Jay, yeah, I think they'll get Anna Jay resigned very soon. Hopefully, she gets resigned. If not, I could see her in NXT. Yeah. NXT, TNA, absolutely. If AEW doesn't re-sign her, but I think they will. F4W Online's Dave Meltzer recently mentioned there are people in WWE who are very strongly behind the idea of Jacob Fatu being one of the top push stars in the company. Yeah, absolutely. Yada da mean. Sorry, it's so random for me to say that. But yeah, absolutely. Jacob Fatu has that presence, has that star factor. When he comes back, either in December or first of the year in January, yeah, keep pushing him. Get him. Absolutely top WWE superstar, needs to be pushed. future WWE champion, world champion. Absolutely. Yeah, he's got that. He needs that. On a call with the media this week, AEW President Tony Khan indicated that that the Wrestle Dynasty event will not return in 2026. Excuse me. Why? My question is why. I mean, I'm sure there's a very good reason why it won't return next year, but kind of curious in that. I'm sorry, I don't actually have a reason why. I'm going to look into this. And then on an episode of Rumor of the Day later on this week, I will have an answer for you. Hopefully. And then one last thing I want to say before we call this an end. Solo Sikoa. I want to talk about Solo Sikoa because Solo Sikoa this past week on SmackDown is moving on in the tournament. Had a really good match. And he's going on to the end this coming Friday on SmackDown. He is taking part in a traditional Survivor Series match. It'll be on SmackDown. And the push that's going on with Solo Sikoa and MTF and how he is in the tournament, he's been doing very well in the tournament, but you know, there's the rumors that it's going to be Gunther in the last time it's now tournament. I don't think it should be Gunther. You know, I really don't. He doesn't need this. I feel that there is more history between John Cena and Solo Sikoa. And I feel that if Solo Sikoa keeps doing as well as he's doing with this tournament, now he's going on, now if he goes on and wins this tournament and goes on to face John Cena, December 13th, Saturday night's main event, I see Solo Sikoa beating John Cena. And I say that because John Cena has never beaten Solo Sikoa. In the matches I believe they've had together, I believe it was more than one, Solo Sikoa has had John Cena's number each time. And going into this match, this makes sense in the history and revisiting this and John Cena getting what is his last opportunity at trying to defeat Solo Sikoa, but not defeating Solo Sikoa. And Solo Sikoa winning the Intercontinental Championship. Now, if that's the case, and he wins the Intercontinental Championship, he goes on to Raw. And I would imagine that he, with his MTF, goes with him to Raw as Intercontinental Champion. Now, I could see that. I can see a scenario in which Solo Sikoa gets through this tournament, gets this big push in defeating John Cena. Now, it might not be Solo Sikoa, but I can see it. And it's a good push. It's the kind of push that would be really good for Solo Sikoa. But the idea of it came to me while watching SmackDown and Raw, and watching just how Solo Sikoa has been rising in this tournament. So for him to actually go all the way in this tournament, I can see that as a general possibility. Now, it might not happen, and I'm only speculating here, but the idea of Solo Sikoa winning this tournament, going on to face John Cena, I see it because of the history they have. I really see it. But we will see going forward. But that's just a little speculating right there. Little idea I had about Solo Sikoa and how he's moving in this tournament and how it could look if he makes it to Saturday night's main event, and on the other side of that ring it's John Cena and it's for the Intercontinental Championship. But we will see. Anyway, I am Anthony K. Thomas. This has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for watching. Go and have yourself a great week. Keep your head up, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. And I will see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.